Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a review of my GE gas range. Let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to start with how long have I had this range. So I purchased this range on August 11th of 2024, which was last year. And right now is August 27th, 2025. So this range is a year old, and so that's how long I've had it. And do I like it so far? Not just like it, but I love it. It works great. Not had any issues with it, so it's been a great range so far. And what was my old one? I had another GE range. It was a 2001 model, and that one is probably 24 years old, or maybe 23 and a half. But it is somewhere between those years. And this is the replacement for it. And I still have the old range, but I'm keeping it in my backyard right now. But anyways, this is the replacement, and I like it so far. So, to start with, we are going to look at the door. So it does have the traditional handle to open and close it. Yeah. So it has the handle just like the old one did. But one thing is that it does have a see-in glass, so you guys can see inside the range. But this oven does have a light, but I'll show you guys that in a little bit. Anyway, let's take a look inside. So here's the glass to see through the range, and this range is in the black color, and it looks very nice. Here's the glass, and then here is the inside. So this range has a 5 cubic feet capacity, and I think my old one was 5.8, maybe a little bit smaller than that. But yeah, this range is 5 cubic feet. And you get the rails. You only got 2 of them, and one at the top and one at the bottom. I think it's always been like that. And does this range have an air frying feature? No, it does not. And over here, I don't know if you guys can see well. Let me turn on the light. So this oven does have a light inside, which is very cool. Anyways, so do you see this right here? That is the thermometer. That is supposed to check the temperature of the range. Now I don't think my old one had this. Yep. And you guys can even see inside with the light. My old one did not have a window, but it did have a light, which makes a big difference. And then this range has a steam cleaning feature. You just add water here. I have used it, by the way. And then these holes, I sometimes see light through them, so that would be the heat. And again, this is a gas range, so it runs on gas. And where is the light coming from? I'm going to turn it off. The light is supposed to be coming from that bulb. That was just what it was showing. That's just where the light was coming from, that light bulb over there. Yeah. So that is pretty much the inside of the range. It's nice. Now, here is the GE logo. And on my old one, the GE logo was like up here, But on this one it's down, which is very cool. And then down here, I think my old range had it, but we never used it. And once we open it, it says broil only, no storage. So this is like where you broil your stuff. But on my old one, the broil was up here. So that's one thing I miss, having the broil up in the main range instead of down here. But that's fine. And I have used it before too. Here's what it looks like. And now we come over here. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but the model number is, well, the model's over here. It is JGB5S66D8EK1BB. And the serial is FG132189P. Yep. It is. And down here it says it was made in Mexico, so that's where this range was made from. Being GE is an American company, but of course this model comes from Mexico, or that's where it was made, as you guys can see. So yep, that's the broil. Now this thing does tend to come up by itself, and it can slam if you let it come all the way up on its own. So that's why I slowed it down. Alright, now let's go ahead and come up to the stove. To come up to the burners. So my old range only had 4 burners, like 2 on the left and 2 on the right, but nothing in the middle. But this one has 5 burners. And one cool thing is that with the 5th burner, you can either get this griddle, or you can get a 3rd one of these pieces that go on the left and right burners. So you can have all these pieces on the left, middle, and right burner, or you can have the pieces on the left and right in the griddle, which is very cool. And then here are the knobs. So this one is for the front and this one's for the rear. And down here it says power boil for large cookware. There you go. Hope you guys can see that better. Then this is the knob for the center. Then here are the knobs for the right burners. And also, here are the size of them. So this one is the large burner, the big one, that's why I said for large cookware. This one is the smallest burner. This one is the griddle. That's what it looks like. And I think this one is a medium. This one is a small. Extra small, large, larger, medium, and small. Yep, that's what it is. Then those are your controls, obviously. Here's the lit. Here's the light. And then the numbers until it goes all the way to low. And then there's also high. Yep. So that's it for the burners. Yes. Yep. But one other thing is that when we heated up stuff on the burners, on the very first time using this range, it heated up the food very fast. Faster than our old one. Because I think because on the old one, the burners were pretty much the same size. So that's very cool how this range heats up food very fast. And then down here, holes. That's what sometimes the heat comes out of there, but it's not the problem. It's not like there's something wrong with it, but it does come out from there. And then I don't know if you guys can see well. Nope, I don't think so. The plug and the gas line is on the back of the range. And then over here is the timer display. So you get your cooking options, timer up and down, oven light, and the oven settings. It says automatic oven down there. So for cooking options, you got bake, which is for the range part, and then the broil, high, low, or off, which is for the bottom. And then you got your start button, and then you cancel. And I think that's for the range. And yeah, it is. And then there's your steam clean button. Well, and then there's your timer controls. Like, see, just like that. There we go. And yeah. And then you have your cook time, your delay time, time of day, and set clock.